Liam sat in the pilot seat of the small cargo ship, humming a song to himself. He was on a delivery mission, carrying supplies from one human colony to another. The journey was supposed to be simple. Ship named Starbird flew on autopilot most of the time. Liam just had to check the controls, watch the fuel, make sure nothing went wrong. But today, something did go wrong. As he passed through Sector 7C, the navigation screen started to blink. A large meteor shower was heading his way. Liam looked at the blinking red dots and quickly pulled up the manual controls. "Come on, not now," he whispered, gripping the joystick. He turned the ship sharply to the left, trying to dodge the meteors. Bright rocks flew past the window, some crashing into each other and breaking into smaller pieces. One rock scraped the side of the ship. Sparks flew. Alarms beeped loudly. The ship was spinning. Liam struggled to keep control, pressing buttons and trying to balance the ship's path. The stars outside became a blur as he moved through unknown space. Finally, the meteors were behind him. But now the ship was far from its original course. Liam sighed and opened the map. The screen showed static. No signal, he said in surprise. He tried to reconnect to the main network. Nothing worked. The stars outside didn't match any known maps. He was truly lost. The fuel level was also dropping fast. The meteor dodge had used too much energy. Liam looked at the screen again. There was one planet nearby. It didn't have a name. The scanner showed a breathable atmosphere in green land. "I guess that's my only choice," he said. He guided the ship toward the unknown planet. As he entered the atmosphere, the ship shook. Lightning flashed in the clouds. Strong winds hit the wings. The ship was too damaged to land properly. "Emergency pod it is," Liam said quickly. He pressed the red button near his seat. A small pod separated from the main ship. It fell through the clouds like a falling star. The pod landed hard in a thick forest. Trees broke and birds flew away. Smoke came out from one side. Inside the pod, Liam hit his head on the wall. Everything went dark. Liam woke up slowly. His head hurt. It was a soft sound, like water running nearby. He opened his eyes and saw tall trees with glowing leaves. Strange flowers floated in the air. The sky was purple and twin moons hung above the trees. "Where am I?" he whispered. He tried to stand up, but pain shot through his leg. He looked down and saw a cut on his knee. His clothes were dirty and his hands were scraped suddenly. He heard footsteps. He turned his head and saw a figure walking through the forest. It was a woman, not like any woman he had seen before. She had blue skin that shimmered like the surface of a lake. Her eyes were silver and calm. She wore a long, flowing dress made of glowing threads. A small round stone floated above her palm. She stepped closer, looking at him with curiosity. Liam tried to speak. "Hello? Can you understand me?" The woman didn't answer. She knelt beside him and gently touched his forehead. The stone in her hand glowed brighter. Liam felt the pain in his legs start to fade. His head stopped hurting. His breathing became easier. She said something in her language. It sounded like music. Then she looked up at the sky and spoke again, this time a little louder. Liam didn't understand the words, but he caught one phrase clearly. "My husband." Liam's eyes widened. "Wait, what?" But the woman was already helping him up, lifting him gently with surprising strength. She wrapped a soft green cloth around his shoulders and began walking. Guiding him through the glowing forest, Liam was too weak to resist. He limped beside her, holding on to her shoulder. The forest was beautiful, shining flowers, birds with crystal wings, and tall trees with glowing bark. After a while, they reached a village hidden in the trees. The houses were built high above the ground, resting on strong wooden platforms. Bridges made of vines connected each home. Soft blue lights floated in the air, lighting the paths. The woman called out something. More people came out of the houses. They were all blue-skinned like her, each wearing glowing clothes and carrying stones that floated near their hands. They looked at Liam with wide eyes and happy smiles. Some of them clapped, others waved. Liam was confused and a little nervous. "Why are they so happy to see me?" Then the woman spoke again. This time she spoke slowly, pointing at Liam, then at herself. "Lyra," she said, placing her hand on her chest. Then she pointed at him. "Husband." Liam blinked. No, no. I think you've got this all wrong." She smiled and nodded, as if she understood. Liam sighed. "I have a feeling this is going to get more confusing." That night, Liam lay on a soft bed inside a treehouse. The roof above was made of leaves that let in moonlight, strange glowing. Bugs floated around like tiny lanterns. Outside, the villagers sang a soft song. It was peaceful. Liam couldn't sleep. He stared at the stars through the window. "I just wanted to deliver cargo," he whispered. "Now I'm in a strange world, being called someone's husband." But inside, a small part of him felt safe. The alien woman Lyra had helped him. She saved his life. And somehow, even in this strange place, Liam didn't feel completely alone. The next morning, Liam woke up to the sound of birds singing. He opened his eyes and blinked at it, the soft light shining through the leaf roof. For a moment, he forgot where he was. The bed was warm. The room smelled like fresh flowers and sweet fruit. Then he remembered the crash. The blue-skinned woman, the strange village and the trees. Liam sat up slowly. His leg still hurt a little, but it was much better than before. Tied around his knee was cool and soothing. The cut was already healing. A soft knock came from the wooden door. It creaked open, and the alien woman entered. She smiled warmly, carrying a round bowl filled with steaming food. The smell made Liam's stomach growl. "Good morning," Liam said, unsure if she would understand. The woman nodded, then handed him the bowl. Inside was a soup with floating green and orange pieces that shimmered gently. It smelled like herbs and honey. Liam took a small sip. He whispered. The taste was sweet, warm, and full of energy. She sat beside him and watched quietly as he ate. Then she pointed at herself again and said, "Lyra." Liam looked at her. "Lyra?" he repeated, then pointed at himself. "Liam." Lyra smiled. Pleased, she pointed at him again and said, slowly and proudly, "Husband." Liam coughed in surprise. Yeah, about that." He tried to explain with hand gestures. He pointed to himself, shook his head, and said, "Not your husband, just lost. You helped me." Lyra tilted her head. She didn't seem upset, just curious. She spoke a few words in her language, touching the crystal that floated above her. Palm, it glowed for a moment, and Liam felt a warm wave pass over his body. It didn't hurt, but it made his skin tingle. Then, to his surprise, Lyra said in broken English, "You, from Stars Crash? Now bond, ... together." Liam blinked. "Wait, you can speak English?" She shook her head. "Not much." "Crystal help, ... little bit." She pointed to the crystal, then to the sky. "Old tech, mind crystal. Learn, ... understand." Liam looked at the crystal in wonder. It was floating gently, spinning slowly above her hand. That's incredible. He didn't understand everything she said, but it was enough to guess the meaning. In her culture, saving someone's life might mean they were now connected, bonded somehow. Lyra stood up and gestured for him to follow. Liam stood slowly, leaning on the wall for support. Lyra helped him walk. They stepped outside onto the wide wooden path hanging between the tall trees. The village was awake now. Alien children ran across the bridges, laughing. Adults carried baskets of fruit and tools. Everyone smiled and waved at Liam as he passed. "They really think I'm your husband?" Liam whispered. Leah gave a soft laugh and nodded. They reached a large platform. In the center of the village, it had a round shape, with benches made of curved wood and a glowing fountain in the middle. A few villagers sat there, talking and sharing food. Lyra guided him to the edge of the platform and pointed toward the forest below. "Danger, ... ground. Not safe. Stay here." Liam looked down. The forest floor was far below. He saw large shadows moving among the trees, too big to be animals he knew. "What's down there?" Lyra tapped her crystal. "Beasts old. Come at night. Village safe. Hi." She showed him the main areas of the village, a garden that floated on a platform of vines. small library filled with glowing books, and a workshop where villagers carved shapes from shining stones. Liam was amazed. Everything worked in harmony. There were no wires, no machines, yet everything seemed advanced in a different way. It was quiet, peaceful, and beautiful. In the evening, Lyra took him back to her treehouse. She brought more food and sat beside him. She pointed at the stars and said a few names in her language. Liam pointed at one and said, "Earth, my home." Lyra looked at him quietly for a moment. Then she smiled gently and said, "Far ... but not lost." Liam didn't know what she meant exactly, but her words felt calm and hopeful. Later that night, Liam sat alone near the edge of the platform, looking up at the stars. The sky was clearer than any sky he had seen before. Twin moons glowed like soft lamps. He missed Earth, but he couldn't stop thinking about this strange new world. Lyra came and sat beside him. She held a glowing flower in her hand. She placed it near him. It floated and gave off a soft light. "Thank you," he said softly. Lyra nodded. Then she gently tapped her crystal and said, "You ... not prisoner. You choose, stay or go ... when ready." Liam looked at her. She wasn't forcing him into anything. Her kindness was real. Her people treated him like family. Not because he was human, but because he was someone in need. He smiled. "I think I'll stay for a while." Lyra smiled too. She touched her crystal again. Then ... welcome home. Liam leaned back and looked at the sky. He still didn't know how he got here or how he would return. But for now, he wasn't lost anymore. He had a name here, and for reasons he didn't fully understand yet, he had someone who believed he belonged. Liam had been in the alien village for 3 days now. Every morning he woke up in Lyra's treehouse to the sound of singing birds and soft wind blowing through the glowing leaves. The people here were kind and gentle. They always smiled when they saw him and greeted him in their soft, musical language. But even though everything seemed peaceful, Liam still felt strange. Everyone called him Lyra's husband. They offered him gifts-woven scarves, shining fruits, and tiny glowing animals. One old man even bowed before him and handed him a carved stone shaped like a heart. Liam didn't know how to respond. He smiled politely and said thank you in English, hoping it sounded kind. That afternoon, Lyra took him to a wide platform where many villagers had gathered. It looked like a celebration. Bright cloth banners hung from the trees, and the air smelled like sweet nectar and roasted nuts. A group of children ran in circles, throwing soft glowing balls to each other. Elders sat in a circle, playing music on instruments made from shells and string. Everything felt magical, but Liam felt out of place. Lyra stood beside him, holding a bowl of blue fruit. She handed him one and smiled. Liam took a bite. Why? It was sweet and juicy, like a mix of mango and mint. Then a tall man with green markings on his face stood in front of them. He spoke in their language and everyone became quiet. The man raised his hands and pointed to Liam, then to Lyra, then back. To the sky, Liam leaned closer and whispered, "What's happening?" Lyra tapped her crystal. "Village thanks for bond. Sky gift. You wait, ... this is for me." Liam said in surprise. Lyra nodded. "You are part of us now?" Liam looked around. The villagers were clapping and singing. Some even bowed, their heads toward him. He felt both honored and confused. He stood up and raised his hand awkwardly. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, I think." He gave a small smile. Few people laughed softly, not at him but with kindness. Later, Lyra guided him to a small hut near the library. Inside was a round table made of polished wood with glowing scrolls placed neatly in rows. A young boy sat at the table, his silver eyes wide with curiosity. "This ... Rello," Lyra said. "My brother, he help you." Rello stood and gave a short bow. "Hello, human," Liam smiled. "You speak English?" little Rilo said proudly. "Crystal help. I learn fast." Liam sat down beside him. "Good. I want to learn your language too." Rilo handed him a scroll. It showed simple pictures in apple, A tree. The sun with strange letters beside each one. This. Da means fruit, Rello said. Pointing, Liam repeated, Da, good. Rello grinned. Now ... tree Moro. Moro, Liam said, trying to copy. The sound. For the next few hours, Liam practiced basic words. He learned how to say hello, water, sky, and home. Rilo was a patient teacher, laughing only when Liam said something completely wrong. Lyra returned after sunset and smiled when she saw them sitting together. He learned fast, Rilo said proudly. Lyra gave a pleased nod and handed Liam a small pouch. Inside were round stones that glowed softly. For you, she said. Gift, memory stones. Liam turned one over in his hand. What do they do? Touch, remember Lyra explained. He held the stone and closed his eyes. Suddenly, a soft image appeared in his mind. Lyra, standing in the forest, holding the crystal above him after the crash. He opened his eyes in shock. That was real? Lyra smiled. Yes, it keeps moment. Liam looked at the pouch. This place is amazing. That night, Liam sat on the platform again, watching the stars. The moons were full, lighting the trees in silver. He held one of the memory stones, thinking of Earth. I wonder if they're looking for me, he whispered. Lyra sat beside him. You miss ... home. He nodded. Yes, but this place, it feels peaceful. She was silent for a while. Then she asked, You afraid of being husband? Liam looked at her, surprised. I'm not afraid of you, he said quickly. You saved me, you're kind. But on my world, people choose. Slowly. It takes time. Lyra nodded slowly. In my world, saving life means bond. But I understand now. You are different. Liam smiled. Yeah. Maybe we can start as friends. She touched the memory stone and handed it back to him. Friend is good beginning. They sat in silence. Two people from different worlds, looking at the same sky. The next morning, Liam woke up early. He wanted to walk alone and think. He took a short path near the tree house that led to a high lookout point. But as he reached the edge of the trees, he saw something strange in the sky. A dark shape was moving fast above the forest. It wasn't one of the village crafts. Larger and louder. The birds flew away, and the air became still. Liam narrowed his eyes. That doesn't look friendly, he whispered. Liam stood at the edge of the lookout point, staring at the sky. The dark shape moved slowly, circling above the forest.
Oh.
It was not from the village. It looked heavier, more mechanical-like, something from Earth or a nearby colony. But Liam couldn't be sure. He watched it for several minutes. The shape finally disappeared behind the clouds, and the sky returned to normal. But the silence that followed felt heavier than before. When he returned to the village, he didn't say anything yet. He wasn't sure if the villagers had seen it, or if they would even understand what it meant. So he decided to wait and observe. Over the next few days, Liam focused on learning more about the world around him. Raylo continued to teach him the language every morning. They sat near the floating garden, practicing words, drawing pictures, and laughing when Liam said something strange. Today we learn about tools, Rallo said one morning, holding up a flat silver object. This is Xena, a cutter, Liam held it in his hand. Xena, he repeated. It was warm, as if alive. How does it work? Rello pressed a small button on the side. Soft green light appeared at the edge, like a short energy blade. Careful, Rello said. It only cuts. When you press, Liam nodded. It's very advanced. But no wires? No batteries? Rilo smiled. We use stone cores. From deep inside the forest, they hold energy. Later that day, Lyra took Liam on a walk outside the main village, but still high above the ground, along a path built into the trees. Birds with glowing wings flew around them, and strange fruits hung from branches like glass ornaments. Many things grow here, Lyra explained slowly. Nature and people live together. They stopped at a wide tree with carvings on its bark. Lyra touched one of the marks. This Memory tree. We place names here. Important ones. Liam gently ran his fingers over one of the carvings. It was old and covered in moss. You remember people this way? Lyra nodded. Yes. Those who protect, those we love. She picked up a small glowing berry and handed it to him. Taste. Liam took a bite. It was sweet, but also had a sharp electric flavor, like mint and lemon together. It made his tongue tingle. That's strong, he laughed. Lyra smiled. Good for mind. Helps remember. They continued walking. Lyra showed him a small pool where the water reflected not just the sky, but memories, images of past days. Liam saw himself arriving in the village, confused and hurt, and then slowly smiling as he learned their ways. This water, ... how does it do this? He asked. Crystal roots below, Lyra said. The land remembers too. Liam sat beside the pool and looked into it. He saw Earth for a moment, his family, his ship, his small apartment. The image faded, but it left a warm feeling in his chest. He looked at Lyra. Your world is full of magic. Not magic, she replied gently. Just old knowledge. It's very old. In the evening, Liam sat with Rilo and Lyra around a fire. The villagers gathered to tell stories. An elder named Mira spoke first, her voice strong and steady. There was once a time, she said, when the sky was broken and many stars fell. From one of those stars, a great creature came. But it was not here to destroy. It taught us how to listen to the crystals. Everyone listened closely. Liam leaned toward Rilo and whispered, Do you think that creature was human? Rilo looked. Thoughtful, maybe. Stories are old. Maybe it was like you. Yes. Later, Lyra stood and told a short story about a blue bird that flew so high it touched the moon. When it came back, it brought light to the dark forest. When she sat down again, Liam said softly, You're a good storyteller. Lyra smiled. Thank you. Stories are important. They keep truth alive. Liam nodded. We have stories too. Maybe one day I'll tell you mine. She looked at him gently. I would like that. The next morning, Liam decided to explore. The broken pieces of his ship. It had crashed far from the village, but with Lyra's help, he felt strong enough to make the journey. They left early, walking through the high tree paths and finally climbing down using soft vine ropes. It was Liam's first time back on the forest floor. It was quiet. Strange plants glowed around them, and the air was thick with mist. Liam held a small torch that Lyra gave him, powered by a light crystal. They reached the crash site. The small pod was still there, covered in moss and vines. One side was broken, but the inside still held some of his tools. Liam climbed in and found his old cum device. It was cracked, but maybe fixable. He checked the scanner. The screen lit up, panned, then flashed a signal warning. What is it? Lyra asked. Another ship was nearby. 3 days ago, Liam said slowly. It flew above this area. Lyra looked at the sky. Not ours. No, Liam said. It might come back. And I don't think it's friendly. They packed what they could and returned to the village. That night, Liam worked with Rilo to repair the scanner and improve the signal. If danger was coming, they needed to know. He also studied some of the village's old tech. They had tools that could help build barriers or scan energy. With a mix of human skill and alien tech, Liam started making simple defense systems. Lyra watched him work. Her eyes calm but curious. You are learning fast, she said. Liam smiled. Your world saved me. Now I want to protect it. Lyra said nothing for a moment. Then she placed her hand gently over his. You have the heart of a guardian. Liam looked at her and felt something change. He was no longer just a visitor. He was becoming something more, maybe even a part of this world. The sun rose slowly over the alien forest. The village and the trees glowed gently in the soft morning light. Birds sang their crystal-like songs, and the wind moved peacefully through the high branches, but Liam felt uneasy. He stood on the highest lookout platform, holding the small scanner he had repaired. The screen was blinking again. A signal was coming closer, and it matched the strange shape he had seen earlier. They're back. Liam whispered. He ran to Lyra's home and found her preparing food. She looked up at him and saw the concern in his eyes. "Something's wrong," she asked. Liam nodded. "Ship is coming, the same one from before. It's not one of yours." Lyra stood still for a moment, then she placed the food aside. "You must tell Mira." The elders gathered quickly in the center platform. Mira, the village leader, listened quietly as Liam explained what he had seen. "They might be raiders," Liam said. "On some planets they come to steal resources. They search for energy stones just like the ones you use." Myra looked at the sky, then back at Liam. "We have not seen sky raiders in many cycles, but it is possible." Rello spoke up. "Can we stop them?" Liam thought for a moment. "Maybe, but we need to prepare. We must hide the energy stones. We need to make traps or alarms in case they come near the village." Mira nodded. "Then we prepare. You lead us, Liam." Liam was surprised. "Me? You understand these dangers?" Mira said. "No, you care for this village. That is enough." Over the next 2 days, the village worked together under Liam's guidance. Liam Relo and a few strong villagers began setting up simple defenses, using a mix of earth tools and alien energy. They used glowing vines as tripwires, placed crystal sound alarms near the base of trees, and hid the most powerful stones deep in the forest under the roots of old trees. Lyra worked beside Liam, helping him translate and explain instructions. She was calm and clever, always thinking ahead. "You're good at this," Liam told her one evening as they rested beside the fountain. She smiled. "I watch, I learn." "Like you," Liam chuckled. "Maybe we make a good team." She looked at him with kind eyes. "Maybe more than that?" Liam didn't answer right away. He looked at the stars. "I never thought I'd care so much about a place I didn't even know existed." Lyra nodded. "Sometimes true home finds us, not the other way." On the third night, the village was quiet. The alarms were ready. The sky was clear, but everyone stayed awake. Waiting, Liam sat near the edge of the platform with Rilo, holding a small crystal blade. "If they come," he said, "we won't let them take anything." Suddenly, the alarm vines at the forest base began to glow red. Hyped sound echoed through the trees. "They're here," someone shouted. From the clouds above, a black ship broke through and landed hard in the open field beyond the forest. Dust and wind blew everywhere. Lights from the ship scanned the ground. Liam jumped to his feet. "Positions." The villagers moved quickly but quietly. They had practiced. They hid in high trees, ready to alert or defend. 3 figures stepped out of the ship. They wore dark suits and helmets. One of them held a device that beeped as it scanned the ground. "They're looking for the crystals." Liam whispered to Lyra. "They must not find them," she replied. Liam nodded. "Then we stop them here." As the raiders walked toward the forest, they triggered the first alarm. A flash of blue light shot into the air, and the sound of birds crying out filled the air. Startled, the raiders stopped. One of them raised a weapon. Liam shouted from the trees, "Turn back now. This place is protected." The raiders looked up, surprised. One of them shouted back, "We don't want trouble. We just want the power stones. Give them and we'll leave." Liam narrowed his eyes. "These stones are not yours. Go now, or face the village." The raiders looked at each other, then moved forward. That was a mistake. A net made of glowing vines fell from the trees, trapping one of them. The others turned and fired their weapons, but their shots hit only bark and branches. Villagers began throwing crystal balls that released bright flashes, blinding the intruders. Liam swung down on a vine and landed behind a tree. Using a small tool he had repaired from the pod, he activated a shield wall. A beam of light appeared between 2 trees, blocking the raiders' path. Rilo appeared beside him, holding a sound crystal. "I'm ready now," Liam shouted. "Rilo." Through the crystal, it exploded in a flash of sound, shaking the ground and making the raiders drop their weapons. One of them ran back to the ship, but the door wouldn't open, blocked by roots Liam had grown with Lyra's help, using a crystal. Command, the fight didn't last long. The raiders, confused and outmatched, tried to flee. One of them was caught. The others escaped in panic, leaving their gear behind. Later, the villagers gathered in the center again.
Ow!
They cheered and clapped. Myra stood and raised her hand. Tonight, we thank Liam, a visitor, yes, but also a protector. One of us. Liam felt a strange warmth in his chest. He wasn't used to being praised, but here it felt right. Lyra stepped forward, holding a small necklace made of shining blue stone. She placed it around Liam's neck. In our way, she said softly, "This means you are family." Liam looked at her, speechless. He touched the necklace gently. "I don't know what to say," he whispered. She smiled. "Then don't say anything. Just stay." Liam smiled too. "For now I will." That night, the stars were brighter than ever. The village was safe, the people were happy, and for the first time in a long while, Liam felt like he belonged somewhere. Not just as a guest, but as a part of something real. The next morning, the village was full of life. Birds flew in colorful flocks, and the wind brought the sweet scent of flowers. Children ran across the bridges, playing with light crystals. But in the center of the village, the mood was more serious. The elders and warriors gathered around the items the raiders had left behind: broken gear, weapons, and a damaged scanner. Liam sat nearby with Rilo, carefully studying the scanner. He connected it to a power crystal and pressed a few buttons. The screen flickered to life. "Look," Liam said, pointing. "This map shows their path." They marked 3 other places, or villages. Ralo leaned closer. "They will attack again?" "Maybe not this one," Liam said, "but others. They know there are crystals here. They won't stop." Mira stepped forward. "Then we must warn the other clans." "I can help," Liam said. "But we also need to be ready. Next time there may be more raiders." The villagers nodded. They had seen what Liam could do. His tools, ideas, and quick thinking had helped them protect their home. Now they trusted him even more for the next few days. Liam worked with the villagers to improve their defenses. He built more alarm systems and shield walls using a mix of human parts and energy crystals. He also helped make hiding spots for the young ones and trained a few villagers to use simple tools as weapons, non-lethal, but strong enough to stop an enemy. Lyra stayed close during the training. She practiced with Liam using a light spear made from a glowing branch. She moved gracefully, fast and silent like the wind. "You're a natural," Liam said after their practice. She laughed. "You fight like fire. Wild but strong." He grinned. "Not sure if that's a compliment." "It is," she said softly. One afternoon, Rilo came running across the bridge. "A signal," he shouted. Everyone stopped. Liam took the scanner. A red dot blinked in the lower part of the map. "That's near the river valley," Liam said. "Another village." "We must go. We cannot let them suffer." Liam looked at Lyra, then nodded. "We'll take a team. If we leave now, we can reach them before night." 10 villagers joined him, fast runners, strong fighters, and skilled scouts. Lyra and Rilo came too. As they moved through the forest, Liam felt a new sense of purpose. He had started this journey as a lost traveler. Now, he was something more. They moved quickly, using high paths and hidden bridges. Liam led the way, reading the map and marking danger zones. When they reached the edge of the valley, they saw smoke in the distance. Lyra pointed. "There, the village." They ran down the hill and found a small village surrounded by trees. The houses were burning, and people were hiding in the bushes. 3 raiders stood in the center, shouting in a language Liam didn't know. One of them held a child's hand roughly. Liam stepped forward. "Let the child go." The raiders turned, surprised. One aimed a weapon. Liam rolled to the side and threw a flash crystal. The bright light exploded, blinding the raider. Lyra and the others rushed in. They moved with speed and skill, using vines and traps. One raider ran, but Rilo used a rope crystal to stop him. Another raised a weapon, but Liam blocked it with a shield made of glowing bark. Within minutes, the raiders were gone or captured. The villagers came out of hiding, their eyes full of fear and relief. A small elder stepped forward and bowed. "Thank you," she said in a soft voice. Liam nodded. "We'll help rebuild." stayed for 2 days, helping repair the burned homes and calming the children. Liam shared what he had learned about defense and taught them how to make simple alarms. When they returned to Lyra's village, they were welcomed with cheers and songs. Lanterns floated in the air, people smiled and waved, thankful that Liam had brought their loved ones home safely. That night, a special celebration was held on the highest platform. The sky was full of stars, and soft music filled the air. Lyra stood beside Liam, wearing a robe made of silver leaves. Her hair glowed gently in the moonlight. Mira stepped forward and raised her hand. "Tonight we honor one who came from the stars. He was lost, but now he is found. He is not just a visitor, he is our guardian." Everyone clapped. Lyra looked at Liam and held out a small glowing stone. "This is the Heartstone," she said. "We give it to those who have earned trust and love." Liam took it gently. It was warm in his hand. He looked around at the people, his friends, his new family. He looked at Lyra, who had saved him and stood by him every step. "I don't know what I was before I came here," he said softly, "but now I know who I want to be." Lyra smiled. "Then stay. Not because of the bond. Not because of the village. Stay. Because you choose to." Liam held the Heartstone and nodded. "I choose to stay." That night, under the stars, Liam finally felt like he belonged. As a stranger, not as a guest, but as someone who had earned his place. He was no longer just the man who fell from the sky. He was a protector, a friend, and maybe, just maybe, something more. Days passed and peace returned to the village. With the help of Liam, the people of the forest were now stronger and more united. The nearby villages had joined together and started building a warning network. Crystals were placed in trees to signal danger, and messages could now be shared between homes that were once far apart. Liam had become more than a helper. He was now a leader in his own way. The villagers came to him for advice, tools, and ideas. Even the elders listened when he spoke. But deep inside, one question still stayed in his heart. Was it time to return home? One morning, Liam climbed to the highest tree in the village. The sky was clear, and the twin moons were still fading. He held his repaired device in his hand. Signal was flashing. A human rescue ship was nearby. He stared at the blinking light for a long time. This was the moment he had thought about since the day he crashed here. Earth, home, his old life. It was possible now. He didn't feel happy. He felt confused. Lyra joined him quietly. She didn't say anything at first. She simply stood beside him, watching the sky. "You found your way back," she said softly. Liam nodded. "A ship is close. I can contact them." "And you will go?" she asked. "I don't know," he said. "I thought I would be excited, but I'm not." Lyra looked down at the forest below. "Your place is there. This world is not yours." Liam turned to her. "That's not true. You gave me a home, a name, a reason to care. I never had that on Earth." She said nothing. Liam took a deep breath. "But Earth is where I'm from. Maybe someone there is still waiting for me." "Do you wish to return?" Lyra asked again. "I wish I could stay and still see both," Liam answered honestly. Lyra gave a small smile. "Then send your message. Let your people know you are alive, and decide what your heart tells you." Liam activated the device and typed a simple message. "This is Liam, cargo pilot. Alive. Safe on unknown planet. No danger. Found peaceful life. Not returning yet. Send message back if received." He paused, then added, "Not lost anymore." He pressed send. Then he turned off the device and looked at the forest. He had done what he needed. That afternoon, the village held a quiet gathering, not a celebration, just a moment of calm. Everyone sat together on the wide platform under the stars. There was music, soft food, and laughter. No speeches, no pressure, just warmth. Lyra sat beside Liam, her hand close to his, not touching. But not far either. Children danced in a circle, wearing glowing crowns made from forest flowers. The fire in the center gave off a gentle light. Relo came and sat with them. "I heard your message. You told them you're safe." "Yes," Liam said. Rilo looked proud. Glad you stayed. We need you. Liam smiled. I need you too. Later that night, Liam walked alone to the same pool of memory water where he once saw his crash. This time, when he looked into it, he saw more. He saw himself teaching children to read maps. He saw Lyra laughing as they built tools together. He saw the faces of villagers clapping when the raiders were stopped. And at the end he saw one image that stayed longer than the rest of the Lyra, placing the heartstone in his hand. The water faded back to calm. Liam stood up slowly. His mind was clear now. He walked back to the village. The next morning, the villagers gathered again, but this time not for protection or defense. It was something new, Mira. The elder stepped forward and raised her hand. Today, we honor a new chapter. A day when one from the stars chose not to leave, but to stay. Not because he had no way home, but because he made one here. She looked at Liam. You are not just a visitor. You are not just a guardian. You are one of us. Liam stepped forward, dressed in a simple forest robe made by Lyra. Around his neck was the heartstone. He felt calm. He looked at everyone and said, I didn't know where I was going when I fell here, but I know now where I've arrived. This is home. The crowd clapped softly. Lyra stepped forward next. She took Liam's hand and spoke clearly. In my heart, you are still what I said on the first day, she said. Not by mistake. Not by tradition, but by choice. Liam smiled. And now I say it too, by choice. They didn't need a big ceremony. Their words were enough. From that day on, Liam and Lyra were known not just as partners, but as the heart of the village too, who came from different worlds, but stood side by side. Weeks later, the rescue ship passed by the sky again. It left a small message in reply. Signal received. Safe travels, Liam. Earth remembers you. Always welcome home. Liam read it, smiled, and turned off the device. He looked at the forest. Then, at Lyra, standing nearby, helping children plant glowing seeds. Home wasn't behind him. It was right here. The end.